Have you ever had a moment where you realized, I actually am changing? Not because you've read another book or joined another program or wrote another intention or affirmation, but because you caught yourself responding differently? Well, that moment, that tiny flicker of evidence is integration. And it's everything. Everything. Today, we are going to be talking about how it is to be in the embodiment of her. So becoming her. And who's her? Her is you. This new, authentic, bold, sassy, badass version of you. So happy that you're here. Take a moment because it is so great. We went from like 7 subscribers to 27 subscribers, and we are headed to 500. All of your likes, your follows, your comments, subscriptions, become a member of the channel, like all of that really helps to support what I'm doing here and what we get to do together. So if this resonates with you, if these shows have resonated with you, or if this is your first time and you just like hanging out with me, please feel free to like, subscribe, follow, comment, share this podcast with anyone you think that could be impacted by this. So happy that you're here. Thank you so much. And let's get into this episode. It's who I am with all the promise that you see. Can't be nobody else. A goddess that's me. What you see is what you get. You ain't seen nothing yet. Guarantee sure bet. Are you ready? Hey, soul fam. Welcome back, my friends. So in today's conversation, it's one that's been sitting on my heart for a while. I've been changing and evolving and growing because here's the truth. All the healing, all the courses, all the strategies, all the programs, all the podcasts mean nothing if you don't become her. And who's her? The version of you that is your growth is preparing you for. The version your healing is clearing space for. The version you secretly know is waiting just on the other side of your resistance, on the other side of your ego. So today, we're talking about integration, the quiet, yet powerful, often uncomfortable process of becoming. And it's not learning something new. This is not something that we don't know. It's not consuming something more, but it's actually living the things you already know. It's a remembrance. It's a heart and soul and mind and body connection. So if you've been feeling stuck between who you were and who you're trying to become, if you feel like, I know better than this, but I don't always do better, this episode is for you. And let's breathe, take a breath. And as we exhale, let's get into talking about becoming. So here's the thing that no one really tells you about on this awakening journey is that growth leaks without integration. We live in a world obsessed with more tools, more learning, more hacks, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? That's the song I heard. But we don't necessarily talk about the integration. We don't necessarily talk about the embodiment. That's the part that gets skipped over. And that's like the most important part because a lot of times it's a quiet integration that we've gone through and we don't realize the embodiment until we are confronted with the situation and we respond differently. We respond instead of react. We're not lashing out, but we're taking a moment and, okay, let me take a breath here. Let me step back for a second. Let me, remove myself from the frame for the moment, right? Yelling cut. Realize that the information isn't the problem, and getting more information, knowing more is not necessarily the solution. I could take a lot of classes. You know how many things I sign up for? And there's things that I sign up for I don't show up for, or I don't complete, or I don't do. We all have those things. But there are things that I sign up for and I do. I follow through. I read up on. I expand on the knowledge that I was given. Oh, well, you got your information from this person. Let me go read about this person. But there comes a time where it's like, okay, am I integrating this? Am I actually learning? Am I actually embodying? Am I actually becoming? So let me take you back to a season where I was knee deep in introspection and therapy and coaching and journaling and all the things. So recently I had this experience. I was, I've been feeling like I've been in hermit mode. I've been feeling like I've really been in this cocoon, in the mush, all mushed up. But the chrysalis, I'm ready to come out the chrysalis. I'm like, I feel my wings. I feel like, I'm feeling expansive. But yet I still feel like I really need to be in, right? Well, I realized I was sitting outside and I was enjoying the nature, breathing in all the fresh air. And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I was talking to myself, which I do quite often. And I recommend for everybody. I was like, I really love myself. I said, I love myself so much. And I realized in the moment that I said it, I said, really believe what I'm saying. I really believe. And I really do love myself unconditionally so much. And it felt so good to feel that. And then it was like this. And then my world went like this. Because I was like, oh, I love myself. This is why I have the experience of so many people that love me. So many people that see me in ways that I was not seeing myself. They're like, oh my gosh, people tell me all the time, your voice is so impactful. Your voice means so much. You have a lot to share. You share it in such an amazing way. It's fun. It's impactful. It's inspirational. It allows other people to have permission to do the same. And I was like, I listen to people. I'm like, thank you. I received that. But I don't think I fully was receiving it. I was faithing it until I made it, which was like, okay, I'm going to borrow their faith until I can get some of my own. But really, I was it. I just didn't see it. But in the moment when I realized, oh my gosh, I love myself, and I realized how much love I have in my life, the amazing partner that I have, my amazing bonus children, my amazing friend circle. And granted, it has gotten super small, super small. Like I went from hundreds of friends, we're going to say like that, to just really core people in my life. Mostly family, some chosen, some I was born into, but small circle. But I realize how much love I have in this circle, how many people I have in my life that truly, truly, truly love me for me and all the iterations of myself who really love me. But that's because I love myself. And in that, then I was like, oh my gosh, this is why my world is so amazing. Because even though there's a lot going on in the world, there's a lot going on in the world. Energetically, there's a lot going on. The planets are doing all kinds of things. We got things floating in the air. People don't know exactly what they are. Well, the sun is shooting off things, and the Schumann is doing all kinds of things, and the earth is shaking. It's flooding. It's doing all kinds of things. And then let's not even get into what the shenanigans the people are doing. Come on. Right? And yet my world is still so happy, loving, joyful, and peaceful. Now, I do acknowledge that there's still, if that's out there in the world somewhere, in me, it is out there. It's in here. But my immediate world, so the world that I'm creating is a world that I want to live in and I get to live in. I am living in. And that's the realization I had. I had the realization that I truly do love myself. I truly am confident. and not like the confidence I used to have. That was like I was putting on confidence because I didn't have any of my own. Now I don't have to put it on. I am the embodiment of a confident Fashawn. I am the embodiment of a badass. I am the embodiment of love. So it's just amazing how when we just take those moments and in that, and before that I felt kind of like, even I was in a cocoon and I was like, man, I feel like I keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Oh, I feel a little stuck. Oh, I'm feeling a little down. I feel like I'm going through this season in my life where sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I have energy, sometimes I know what's going on, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I have brain fog. Like, so many things going on. But now I know my patterns. I can see my patterns. I can catch myself in the middle. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't see it until after I'm like, oh, that's a pattern. That's a trigger. You know? I've processed my childhood stuff. I get it. I've gotten it. I got the t-shirt, the keychains, I've gotten all the things. And I don't have an information problem. I had an integration problem because, yes, I know all the tools. I have all the tools. I know what to do. I know when not to do it. But I wasn't using them all the time in real time, which is what happens when you start to embody and stop collecting wisdom, like seashells. I love collecting seashells and rocks and things like that. Like, people paint rocks and I love finding them. It's so exciting. But I don't need to do that anymore. I can start giving the rocks out. I can start sharing my seashells. I'm never actually building the house. I'm just like collecting all the tools, collecting all the affirmations, collecting all the things. But am I embodying that? Am I using it? Am I acknowledging myself for doing the work, for coming this far, from being where I am? Woohoo! Do I celebrate myself? Do I big myself up? Because, a few months ago, my response to that would have been very different, right? Do we give ourselves the credit that we so deserve to give? So integration is the bridge between I know this and I'm living this. I am this. It can feel uncomfortable because to integrate something, you actually have to pause long enough to let it land, to practice it. Most of this, like, I love the awakening community and I love all that people are sharing information, but a lot of times we're not giving the space for it to land. We're not being honest that it really is a practice. I had to practice to love myself until I really became the embodiment of it. I had to practice confidence until I became the embodiment of a confident Fashawn. And my confidence may look different than your confidence, but it's all something we're needing to practice. We're needing to sit with. So to let it change who you are is not just how you think. Because yes, how you think, your mindset is key with creating the life that you want to live. And it's also about pausing. Because pausing can sometimes feel like you're falling behind. But it's not that. Pausing can feel like you're not doing enough. Pausing can feel like I should be learning something new. I should be doing more. Oh, I don't know enough. But integration is where identity actually shifts. And part of integration is practice. Practice. I remember my mom used to always say, practice makes perfect. And it really does. Because we're perfectly imperfect. My perfect is not your perfect. But it's all about the embodiment, about practicing. So let's reflect in this moment. So I want to ask you, where have you been collecting tools you never actually use? I know. I won't look at you. I won't look at you. But where are you collecting tools, affirmations, classes, modalities you're never actually using? Where have you been learning instead of embodying? And one more question. Where have you been seeking answers you already have? Again, I won't look at you. I won't look. I won't look. Okay. Where? Where? So take a deep breath with me. Let's let that land. And one thing that's really become really clear to me is that slow is the new fast. Yes, I could hustle. I could do all the things. I could go fast. And I've learned that slowing down, taking that breath, taking a beat allows me to go faster and further, quicker. Now, let's talk about identity, because integration and identity are dance partners. So the question is, who are you becoming? And that's really important because identity isn't something you magically wake up in. I mean, it can, and the likelihood of it is less. So it's really shaped day by day by what you reinforce, by the choices that you're making. Here's the sciencey part, okay? But stick with me. I know we're not all sciencey, but I'm a big nerd, so I like all this kind of stuff. I like the history and the science and the nuance behind it, and I don't like to bog other people down just because that's my zhuzh. It may not be yours, but bear with me a minute here, because it's actually really beautiful. Your habits shape your self-perception, and your self-perception shapes your habits. It's a loop. So I've heard it said a few different ways, but it's like there's a quote. I forget who the person who said the quote is. I think it might have been Thomas Edison or Ford, or I'm not really sure. Don't get me the lion here. But it's like if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because it's really a loop. It's a conversation between who you believe you are and how you behave. When your actions align with the version of you you're becoming, even in tiny ways, because the brain doesn't know big, small. That's some man-made crap we put on, label we put on things. Even in the smallest ways, your brain says, oh, this is who we are now. I'm a woman of privilege. I'm a woman that's a badass. I'm a confident woman. You know, it doesn't know that you're not that. But if you take little steps each and every day and each and every moment, you get to be her, because one day you're going to be sitting on your back patio out in nature, smelling the air, and realize, I'm her. I am the woman that loves herself. I'm the woman that takes care of herself. I'm the woman that nurtures herself. I am her. So let me share a story with you here that really surprised me. It was when I was first going through this awakening journey, and I had gone through this transformational weekend. It was so amazing. I was seeing things so new, so different. I was going to the classes. I was really like experiencing the experience, right? But I found myself, what was happening was I was waking up, and as soon as I wake up, I was so happy and excited and really loving life. And like not 2-3 seconds later, I was feeling back to being depressed and down and like, woe is me. And because of what I learned or had been learning, I realized this is a pattern. This is my default mode. My default mode is this depressive victim state, feeling down, feeling sad, feeling like the world is against me and the man and all the things. And while there's some truth to the way things are constructed, it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to receive it or I need to be in that space. As I became present to it, I'd noticed, okay, I feel the sadness, and I'd shift it. I'd be like, okay, I see you, I acknowledge you, I feel you, and I'd shift it. And I'd spend longer and longer and longer periods of being in this state of happiness, joy, peace, and all the things, longer and longer periods. But I still felt myself going back there, going back there, going back there. So I was like, okay, Let's take a breath. Let's give myself half a minute. I've been doing this for 48, 49 years. I've been just doing this new practice for a couple weeks. Let's give myself a little bit of grace, right? And the awareness is the biggest key, because the awareness that there is an opportunity, an issue, a problem, a trigger, resistance is huge. That's 99% of this journey. The other 1% is the embodiment, the integration. It's taking it in. It's now being there. So I was like, okay, I know that I'm happy and I want to create a world of happiness and longer and good periods of happiness, peace, joy, and all of that. But I see I have this tendency to fall back into these things. What's at the core of that? Why am I feeling that way? And I got to work on that. But I still consciously every day reminded myself, I could choose to be happy in this moment. I don't have to feel depressed. I can choose to not dwell on what I don't have, what's not happening, what isn't going well. And I can focus on, I freaking woke up today. I can walk, I can smell, I have all my senses. I have the presence of my mind, the presence of my body. I have a house that's fairly well put together. It was falling apart at the time, but whatever, But I had safe shelter. I had running water. I had heat, air, electricity. I have a bed I can sleep on. So yeah, life is good. The rest of this is just icing on the cake. My clothes, my shoes, and there's abundance there. But it's just icing on the cake. It's just the way I express the icing. So I practiced being happy, and it gave myself permission more and more time to be happy. I was also healing at the same time. So what needed to be healed? What needed to be witnessed? Typically after something good happens, I usually make myself suffer because it's like a trauma response. I can't really have nice things because that makes me selfish or whatever the case may be. I get to choose, and I chose to be happy more and more and more until one day I didn't have to consciously choose. I was the embodiment of it. And that's what this is all about. The other thing is you also don't have to receive what people are putting in your sphere. Someone can say, you're fat. I don't receive that. Do I sometimes feel like I could lose some weight? Yeah, but I don't have to receive that. The truth of the matter is, yeah, there's weight on me, but it's there for a reason, because if I felt like I didn't need it or it wasn't supposed to be there, it wouldn't be. Because when that happened, I lost weight like that with ease. Not even doing the full thing I was supposed to be doing. Not even doing the program. I should say I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't do it the way the program was prescribed. I was doing it the way that worked for me. I lost 100 pounds. So I know I can do it, and I know it can be done. And I know that I can allow it to work for me in the way that I work. Because if I try to fit myself into someone else's mold, it's not going to work. It hasn't worked. I can look at the past and say, hasn't worked. But I get to choose. So let's reflect. So I want you to just really take your time, be slow and intentional in this moment. And I want you to grab this later and let it open something in you. Listen to it now, but really sit with it later on. If I were already her, how would I show up today? Ooh, this hits me so hard because I remember when I asked myself this question. If I were already her, how would I show up today? Not someday, not when everything's perfect and I've done all the things and I've taken on the classes and I've gotten all the knowledge. Not doing it when you feel ready. Today. And let that question guide your choices for the next week. And see what shifts for you. Because I know when I asked myself that question and I looked at Why was I not doing the things? What does she look like? Oh, well, she dresses in clothes that are comfortable yet stylish and fun. She wears jewelry that she loves. She has a home that she loves. What does that look like? And I realized, wait, I have all these things. So why am I not being her? No reason. Me, get out of my way. Get out of my way, Vashawn. Because we can be our own worst enemies sometimes. We can get out of our own way. But we're waiting for something. We're like, oh, I need to do all the things. But it's really, I get to choose to be her, be present to her, because it's a remembrance. You're not doing anything that's not you. You're not doing anything that's not you. You are just being authentically yourself. So there's no way that you have to put on to be. And I think that's what holds us back a lot of times, because I remember I was having this conversation with a dear brother of mine, and he is like this brother friend. And I was like, look, I'm feeling so, it's like stuck. I feel like I want to put myself out there. I want to do videos, go live, do all these things. But for some reason, I just can't. I can't. And I've been hypnotized. I've done all kinds of things. And yes, it works to a certain extent. But there's still this like resistance, this block. And he was like, and I love him so much. He was just like, well, tell me what's going on. Tell me, just tell me. Lay it on me, Vashawn. And just so sweet and so funny and just so laid back, like so just easy, right? You'll love those easy conversations. And just said what I said. And he was like, what it is you're trying to be something. You think you need to be something to do the thing, but you just need to be you. And I was like, duh, I already know that. I knew that. That's what this whole journey has been about. I just need to be me. My difference makes the difference. The world needs what's uniquely me and the way I uniquely do it and bring it and express it. But I forgot in this area. So it was I loved it because it was just a remembrance. And Vashawn, get out of your own way and remember, you just need to be you wherever you're at. I don't need to be a certain way or at a certain level or show up whatever. I get to show up as me, whatever that is. My whole world shifted. Everything shifted. And did it happen just like that? No, I would love to say that it did. It happened gradually over time. I think it took a couple months for me to really get all the pieces together and really be in the embodiment of it and realize I was in the embodiment of it. That's the sweetness of it. When you remember you are in the embodiment of it. Identity needs anchors, small, repeatable moments that reinforce the new version of you, the new remembrance of you. So here's a few anchors to play with. One, like a 5-minute morning ritual. It doesn't have to be a full routine. I know there's so many people like, I need to have all these things. I need to have my tea and my meditation, and I need candles and the incense and the sage and that's great. I love that for you. But let's just do something really quick, 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be like a miracle morning. It's just 5 minutes where you choose presence over autopilot. Don't, like, if you have a habit, the first thing you do is to pick up your phone, don't do it. Just take a beat, take a breath, just visualize. What I like to do is, what am I intending for my day? Well, today I'm going to record my podcast. I'm going to go through some more of my winter clothes and make sure that I take out things that I can wear. I'm going to go through my daughter's stuff and make sure that she has some more items that she can wear. I'm intending that I'm going to make dinner. What am I intending for my day? I have lots of meetings, so I'm intending which meetings I'm going to be on and which ones I can't make it to. So I just visualize my day and set myself up for success. That's one thing you can do. Micro commitments. So I know when I first started committing to things and saying yes to things, I had this thing I was hesitant to be all in, because I felt like if I committed, then I'm committed forever forever, amen, that's it, that's all, right? But true commitments are only, you're only committed to things that you're in alignment with. Once you're not in alignment or it doesn't resonate, you do not have to remain in that commitment. Now, if there's a piece that is needing to be done or completed or great, you get with you and figure that out. And if you feel like your integrity, your best integrity is to let it go and not do the thing, do that. Because you'd rather be doing it from a space of, I get to do this, I want to do this, I'm excited about this, I'm inspired by this, so much so that I'm here doing this, rather than I'm committed because I said yes, so now I'm stuck. That's not the energy to do anything in. So instead of promising yourself sweeping transformations, making tiny agreements to yourself that you can actually keep. Let's say for me, like, I need to add more movement in my day. Like, I used to walk 30 minutes every day. Now, I know I've tried walking that walk, not even tried. I've done the walk since I was doing it regularly, and it takes a little bit more arduousness than it did before. It's a little more challenging than it used to be. So if I know I want to add more movement, well, maybe I'll add 5 minutes of movement. Maybe I'll add a spontaneous dance party into my day. Maybe I'll just do some stretching when I remember, because I don't always remember to do it. Maybe I know I need to drink 37,000 glasses of water in a day. Okay, let's start with one glass of water. Okay, I don't like that I'm drinking something that doesn't have any flavor, or that I don't like the taste. Add some lemons, add some limes, add something to zhuzh it up. That's natural and still allows you to consume your water. Send that message you've been avoiding. Maybe you write it all out and then you write it again. And look for any of the traps or the things where we're pointing fingers, instead of saying, okay, where can I take responsibility for my role or how I'm feeling in this, and not put it on someone else, and still get my feelings communicated and across. That is the second way, making those micro commitments. So you had your 5-minute morning ritual, your micro commitments, and last but not least, it's not last, sorry. Number 3, micro wins and identity evidence. Ooh, this is my favorite. Woo! This is where you celebrate you. We do not celebrate ourselves nearly enough. And just like right now, in this moment, okay? Right now. Take a deep breath. Feel wherever you are. Feel you in the space that you're in. So whether you're in your car, whether you're on your couch, whether you're in your chair, whether you're at your desk, wherever you are, feel you right there. Take a deep breath again. And in this moment, feel you're here. You are here. And no matter how many times you didn't think you were going to be here, you tried to take yourself out, you thought about taking yourself out, you thought about the world would be better without you. No matter how many traumatic things that you've been through, whether it was the domestic violence, whether it was being molested, whatever it being abused, any trauma that you have been through, you are still here. And that in itself deserves to be celebrated. You made it. And how I know is you are here right now listening to this. So every time you show up differently, even for 10 seconds, let yourself register it. These moments are proof that you are becoming exactly who you want to be, who you authentically are. And the more we celebrate them, the more we give ourselves evidence, the more we quiet our ego. because we are living proof. You are living proof that you can make it through anything because you made it through everything that you've been through in your life to this point. You are the proof. You are the evidence. So who are you not to live in your best self? Who are you not to show up, to speak up, to be you in the fullest, most beautiful, expansive expression of yourself? Who are you not to? I'm just letting that sink in. I'm just letting it sink in. So, number 4, last but not least, is replacing old scripts with grounding affirmations or grounding intentions or grounding mindset thoughts and ways of being. Not these fluffy ones, not these like, I am the best me I can possibly be. That's great, but what does that mean? So one's like, I choose differently now. In this now moment, I am choosing a different reaction, response. I am becoming her. One small action at a time. I don't abandon myself anymore. I don't commit myself to things past my capacity without checking in with myself first. Do I truly want to do this? Do I truly want to say yes to this? And, I'm a big proponent of using your tools. So I learned about human design, and my authority is I need to sleep on things. So I don't need to be saying yes in the moment unless I'm truly heart wide open, inspired, and I know the difference. I felt it. I have evidence of it. How I know? I'm here right now. Take that pause, take those moments, and know that you can make grounding affirmations that allow you to fully embody who you are. Think about, and when you're doing this, right, I want you to think about those moments that you shifted. It may have happened before you even noticed. Like for me, I gave you an example earlier, but I think I might have given this example before, but when I first started these affirmations, I would say them and I was like, I'm my ADHD, neurodivergent, on the spectrum brain was like, yeah, you're not going to remember this. So I went to the store because we're the best organizing savants, right? So I went and got sticky notes, all different sizes and colors and all the things. I got little ones, big ones, medium sized ones with lines. Like I got all of them. And I started writing the affirmations down on the sticky note that would be the proper size for the affirmation. So if it was a short one, a little one, if it was a bigger one, And I made them short intentionally because I wanted to be able to say them quickly, go through the day. But in the beginning, it was slow, right? So I slowed down and I said, well, let me put these where I'm going to see them, where I'm going to be able to acknowledge them and interact with them in a meaningful, slow way. So I put them in the bathroom in my mirror. So I started with one over here and one over here. And then eventually I had a whole, it would go around my whole head. It was like a little rainbow. And it was all my affirmations that I was needing at the time. And it was like, I'm beautiful or I'm sexy, or I can't even remember what they were because I'm in the embodiment of them. Let's see what would be a good one now. I am allowed to rest. Rest rejuvenates me. So I would put them all around and I had them around and I would say them every time I went to the bathroom, anytime I was washing my hands, putting on my makeup, anytime I was in the mirror, I was saying all of them. I'd say all of them. And I remember going into the bathroom one day and I went to use the toilet. And I realized as I was sitting, I was saying the affirmations. I didn't have to look at them. I was already saying them. And I realized I don't need to look at them anymore because I am them. And I didn't remove them. I still left them up there. But because it was a reminder that I could do that I can be in the becoming. And however I get there, however it works for me, however it looks for me is good, works. So maybe for you, it was, catching yourself not spiraling after something that normally would have wrecked your day. Like normally, oh my gosh, you couldn't find your keys, you stubbed your toe, you spilled coffee on yourself, you had to go back and change. Like normally all of that would have just made it, this is the worst day ever. But you were like, maybe all these delays are trying to keep me from something on the road. And thank you so much. Let me take my time. I need to call whoever I need to call, let them know I'm running late, or move the time, or see what I can do and go from there. Or maybe it was realizing you initiated a boundary instead of over-explaining, overthinking, or voicing it, because people don't know our boundaries, and our boundaries really aren't for others, they're for us. I don't allow people to do this thing. Well, when someone does it, they don't know they crossed your boundary. I can say, hey, look, I really have a boundary. I don't really allow this in my life. So if this is something, that's something you do, something that is, you love and, you like it, I love it. It's just not something that I choose to give my energy to. And see, I'm not trying to change anybody else. I love you exactly where you are. I just may choose not to spend as much time with you because that's not the kind of energy that I want to be in. You don't have to change. You can choose to change, and then we will end up spending more time together, or not, and we'll spend less time together. But either way, I'm good. Or maybe it's hearing yourself say, let me think about that, instead of instantly saying yes. Or let me get back to you. Those are all unconscious shifts, and that's the gold. That's the becoming. So sometimes you become the new version of yourself even before you consciously recognize it. And that's okay. Take a breath with me. This episode isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more you. Integration is your invitation to pause, to peace, to breathe, and rise into the woman you are becoming. You're not just healing. You're transforming. You're shedding identities that no longer fit and stepping into the ones that do. And if this episode has supported you, if you found yourself nodding, tearing up, or feeling seen, send it to a friend who's in a becoming season too. Because we rise together. Until next time, may you continue to become the truest expression of you. You just watched this episode about who are you becoming? Becoming more you. I love this episode. I had so much fun making this episode because I truly just had this experience. And I've had them all along my journey over the last 4 years. But I really realized I just had this recently. And I realized I had the realization of becoming her and being in the embodiment of me. And in that, it was so freeing. And it was really emotional because I found myself grieving parts of myself that I released, parts of myself that I had let go, parts of myself I still see show up, but are less and less a part of me. And there was a grief. And there's also people attached to those parts of myself. So I grieved those relationships, those situations. I grieve that. And it may not all happen in one time. I suspect it hasn't and it doesn't. And I give myself the space to be there. So as you are becoming, I'm so happy that you are here with me on this journey. Whether you're at the beginning, whether you're closer to the middle, whether you're closer to the finish line, which we're never finished until we're done. How you know you're done is when you are transitioned into the next expression of your soul's embodiment. But as long as you're still here, you're in the process. You are in this. You are in the embodiment of you. And how fun could this possibly get? How fun could this possibly be? I ask that you continue on this journey, making it work for you the way that you work, and try on a variety of things, because this may work today, but tomorrow it may not work for you. Or something that didn't work for you in the past might start working now because you have a different relationship to it, a different experience and embodiment of it. So give things a try things may hit you differently, but just know that you are enough just the way you are. Wherever you are right now is okay. And I want you to know that I love you. I appreciate you. You could be anywhere, but you are here spending time with me on your journey, on our journey of becoming. So I ask you, please share this with someone who could use it. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. It all helps me continue to do this. I love you so much. Thank you. Until next time. Thank you for watching. Special thanks, produced by Deshaun J. Moore. Music, I'm Coming Out by Anu at Anu Groove. Thank you to all my listeners. Follow me on social media at More with V. Like and subscribe.